was born brilliant, born fast, and a little bit mad.
I'm glad that you're sorry.
I'm Cruella.
Cruella. Cruella is the origin story about one of Disney's most iconic villains as she's determined to make a name for herself in the fashion world of 70s London. It's easy to say that this was one of my most anticipated films of the year after watching the trailer about 10 times the day it dropped, which by the way was right in the middle of a snowstorm. My excitement level was very high, and I'm happy to say I had a really great time at this movie. I have to begin with the marvelous performances. Emma Stone is fantastic as Cruella de Vil. She perfectly captures all the ranges of her character from her creative side to her mischievous side, and she adds so much depth to Cruella. And I love all of her facial expressions, the movements, her accent, and the way she truly transformed herself, and I couldn't recognize Emma Stone at all. But Emma Stone isn't the only amazing performance. Not to be overlooked is Emma Thompson and all the other cast members who did an exceptional job and brought so much to their characters, especially Emma Thompson, who is incredible as the Baroness. The entire cast had a lot of fun making this movie, and oh yeah, I can't forget about all the dogs that are also really great. And the soundtrack brings you into the world of the 70s, and there were so many scenes that the song choices put a huge smile on my face. For me, music brings a lot to a film, can help boost the scene and bring enthusiasm. Music worked really well in Craig Gillespie's previous film I, Tonya, but here he takes it up many notches, and the way he used music to introduce certain characters could have been better. Plus, Florence and the Machine wrote an original song called Call Me Cruella that was another nice addition to the soundtrack and really fit the movie. This is a very nice looking movie with even some moments that had impressive camera movement. The production design took us to his time period in London, and the costumes range from stylish 70s fashion to wild and crazy. At its core, this is a movie about fashion, so you know the costumes are going to be bold and have a ton of style and detail. The makeup and hairstyling was also spectacular. So much craft and hard work went into this movie, and I wouldn't be surprised if I see 101 Cruellas this Halloween. And yes, since this is an origin story about an iconic villain, it doesn't hold back on the mischief, and she goes crazy in some scenes, and honestly, they were exhilarating to watch. And as Emma Stone said herself, the villains are always the fun ones. However, we still cared for her team and it was always fun when they were around. This film is constantly fast moving and is filled with creativity. It's almost as if it's a mixture of The Devil Wears Prada, Ocean's 11, Maleficent, with a sliver of Phantom Thread and some stylistic choices of I, Tonya. But trust me when I say, this is its own unique movie. And it engages you into the story. My audience at the showing I went to got so wrapped up to the point where there was one scene in the third act that made some of us collectively gasp, and hearing their reactions put a smile on my face. Those watching who have seen this, you might know exactly what scene I'm talking about. And as you might have heard, this film is a bit more edgy with a few slightly dark moments that even surprised me sometimes, that were enough to get a PG-13 rating, which is rare for a film like this. But that added a considerable amount of weight that made the film feel more unique. I was very intrigued when I heard it got that rating, and my excitement went up a few more notches. And they embraced the time period where this took place, which is when punk rock was starting to rise in popularity, and you can tell Disney went for it just by looking at some of the poster designs. But of course, this is very much a crowd pleaser that will be enjoyed by many. I did want some scenes to be longer, and even though I enjoyed the music so much, there was only one scene in the middle where they might have misplaced the song. The song itself was great, but they could have put it in another scene, but those are very small bumps in this overall fun ride. I was so entertained from start to finish, and this is nothing like Disney has done before. I'm so glad this is just as great as I hoped it would be. And I'm gonna rate Cruella a B+. I recommend this movie if you want to see a fresh Disney origin story and if you like movies similar to The Devil Wears Prada. And if you really enjoyed this movie, stick around during the first half of the credits because there's a small surprise that will be waiting for you. Thank you for watching my review of Cruella.